please let me just introduce, without you standing up or coming up, Terry McMillan, who's founder and chief architect and CEO of Accountability. Kevin Friedman, founder, Friedman International. Felicity Jackson joins us here representing Casting Days and Star Now. Chris Lever, you are here, founder, agency DNA. Michael Moffat, managing director and founder, Production Service Network. Khalil Ibrahimi, have I said that right? Almost, okay, UK Managing Director of Admado. And finally, we've got Tyson Piercy, who we've just heard from a moment ago in the Q&A, Director of Strategic Partnerships for Newbase. So they know that the order that they're going in. So please pay attention, very tight on time, 5 minutes each, and your time starts now.
Hello everyone. I just wanted to share a story about my arrival in London yesterday. I was on an overnight flight from the US that did involve sleeping tablets and scotch. When I got into Paddington Station on the Heathrow Express, the doors opened and I looked out, and no more than 50 yards away was Her Majesty the Queen, who was at the station doing a presentation in a beautiful bright pink dress, and she looked wonderful. I thought, wow, that's welcome to London. Of course, I didn't take a photo. I got back to the hotel and I rang my kids and they said, Dad, there's no photo, it didn't happen, it's just another story. They are sceptical. We actually live in Washington, DC now, so strangely my kids have got sceptical about things over the last year or so. So I've used up most of my selling time already. Okay, Accountability is a cloud-based job management and accounting solution for agencies. We're proud to be a sponsor for the second year at the summit. We work for independent agencies only, and we have agencies across 32 countries that we work with. They range in size from very small agencies of 5 to 10 people up to 600 people is our biggest agency. Many of the agencies that we work with now, even though they are quite small, are operating in multiple countries. And I'm going to diverge from my presentation again. There was talking about pricing for agencies caught my attention earlier this morning. I wanted to talk to you about another product that we integrate with, which is called Scope. It's by a company called Virtu Systems, VIRTU. They take anonymised data from agencies all over the world and provide a solution that allows you to be able to cost marketing campaigns for your clients, and therefore to be able to say to your clients, this is how much this costs. So you should take a look at that if you want to make sure that you've got your pricing right. It's we think, a great solution, and we do integrate with it. I wanted to use a case study of a great client of ours. Jasper over here runs an agency called Another Company based in Mexico City. We started working with them in late 2015. At the time they had 100 employees. They've now grown to 150. They have offices now in Panama and Colombia. And they had some special challenges aside from wanting to do their client profitability and cost management better and their accounting better. There were some specific challenges. The Mexico government requires that the agency has to produce their invoices for their clients through the government system. So we did some integration work for that. We worked very closely with the agency. Fantastic agency. Clients include Adidas, Netflix, Calvin Klein and Waze. They had a number of legacy systems that weren't joined up, and Accountability has an open API. So what that enabled us to do was to actually join a number of the systems that the agency used and really then have one cohesive database with all of the financial management information in it. We think, and our client more importantly thinks, that the challenges have been quite well met. This is a screen actually from a media coverage application that we developed working with another company that gives an ROI on the earned media that the agency does. And we built that into Accountability using another company's knowledge on that. So the outcome here, so this quote from Jasper, we had the system live within 6 weeks within the agency. We achieved a significant reduction in the accounting and finance staff within the agency because we eliminated so much duplication. And I'm out of time because of my stories. Thank you all.
Do a nice one. Good afternoon, everyone. Delighted to be here. Amazing event. Julian, thank you so much for putting this on. This is the best time in the last 25 years to be an independent agency. Now, I should know that because I've been running my business for 27 years, hence no hair and quite grey. Independent agencies have the agility that is needed today, and we have the capability to attract the best talent. We know that in those great big holding companies and network agencies, they don't attract the best people. Freedman International is a global implementation agency, so we help brands and other agencies to take campaigns in any media across multiple countries. And my intention of being here today is to find a way to help you pitch and win globalizing brand business. I think Dr. Simon earlier had this phrase he called Globalia. So many businesses now, even small ones, are going global very, very fast. And what I've witnessed is when they get to that point of trying to be bigger, the clients switch from the independent agency that helped them start to one of the big networks. And my mission is to stop that happening. My mission is to partner with you guys so that independent agencies become the #1 home for global brands, and let's consign those network agencies to the dustbin of history. That's my pitch. Yeah, loads of time left. So what is global implementation? I'll give you an example from a client of ours, Fitbit. Silicon, obviously San Francisco-based tech fitness tracking company. They work with a number of independent agencies, digital, advertising, experiential, mostly in San Francisco. Very North American mindset for obvious reasons. So when they created their first TV commercial, it was featuring a whole load of exercises and fitness things that people in North America like to do. Baseball and American football and running in the street up and down these windy roads. When they tried to export that TV commercial around the world, of course, half of those sports activities weren't so relevant. So we got involved right at the beginning to do what we call creative and cultural consultation. Before you fix on your big idea, shoot that huge movie or whatever you're going to create, let's test it, make sure it's going to work in your key markets. So we'll do that with the agency and help the agency present better information to the client before they go into production. What we discovered was actually in North America, they're very competitive on their fitness. But when it comes to France, people actually want to be fit to enjoy a great lifestyle. When it comes to Italy, they want it to look good, yeah? And when it comes to Germany, they want to measure everything and track it all. So therefore, you need to create commercials and content that actually can hook into each of those different types of behaviors. So once the cultural consultation is done, agency goes away, creates the content. We sit back and we work with the media agency to understand how is that content going to be used across the world. And we wait for the assets to be ready for deployment. We've got a network of hundreds of transcreation specialists, copywriters in 80+ markets, got production studios in 7 places around the world. So we've got very big firepower to take content, video, print-based, digital, and push it across multiple markets. Interesting fact, in France, you can't show someone running in the street. So again, back to the Fitbit, they had people running with their fitness trackers up and down streets. That's not allowed in France. We would give them advice on how to get that through the clearance bodies. Similarly, in France, you can't show an iPhone by the bedside of a child, which is what they tried to do. So we will take the master campaigns that have been developed by the agency, work with our transcreation specialists around the world, manage the production of assets, and get them to market approved, validated, and out fast. So again, as I go back to my original pitch, I want independent agencies to be the home of global and globalizing brands. And I think by partnering together, we can help you win the pitches and service those customers so you don't lose it into the Ogilvies and the McCanns and all those dying dinosaurs. That's the pitch. Thank you very much.
Okay, hi everybody. My name is Felicity and I work with a casting website called Star Now. So, Star Now is a casting website where you can connect and book talent directly for video, print campaigns, online, anything that you're doing. We are a very proud sponsor today of the Indie Summit, and the reason why we're here is to help you guys for when you're booking talent for anything that you're doing in the future. So we're not to take the place of a casting director, we actually work alongside them. But what we're here today is to show you that there is a new way to find talent. It's actually a free casting resource as well. So if you're working with a small budget, it's completely free to place a casting on the site. We've got over 2 million members in the UK, and globally we've actually got 4 million members. So we're a pretty huge database. You set the budget, we don't take any commission, there's no booking fees, and therefore there's no fuss. How our system works is the talent is right there at your fingertips. So you're able to place a breakdown if you're looking for a model or a digital influencer for a campaign that you've got, and you can get in touch with them direct. So we've got a huge range. We have dancers, digital influencers. So with these guys, you'd be able to click on their profile, look at how many they've got on Facebook, Instagram, all of those sort of things. You can watch videos of them, scroll through pictures, and have a really good idea of what they are like. There's models, presenters, musicians, professional actors, real people. You get the idea. So why would all these people want to connect directly through you? Why not go through their agency? Well, we've actually got a huge amount of people who want full control of their career. They want to book their own jobs, they want to pick what they do, and they want to have the whole fee. So for them, they're not paying any commission themselves either. So it's a win-win situation for you both. So to put us against another brand. So many of you probably use Uber. So instead of ringing a cab company now and that cab company then booking you a driver, then the driver coming to pick you up, you would just go direct via the app Uber. So in some ways it's similar. You guys decide that you want a certain amount of talent for a campaign that you're doing, and instead of going more through traditional routes, you would put your casting up and connect directly with those people. So once you've decided that you're going to put up a casting, that brief then gets emailed out to all of the talent that fit your brief. So we look at what sex you're looking for, location, what ethnicity you're looking for, and we invite all of those people that fit your brief to apply for your casting. If you place the casting, it pretty much goes up immediately, and actors, dancers, models, whatever you're looking for, can also apply to your casting direct. So it's a huge amount of speed here. Your brief could change on a Saturday evening at 11 o'clock because something's happened in the news and you have to make a huge change. You can place your casting, and within half an hour, you might actually find someone who's exactly what you're looking for. Super easy to manage those applications. You can scroll through. There's a messaging system online where you can message the people that you're interested in. Their phone numbers also come up, so you can just give them a ring and book them direct. So it's incredibly easy to use. There's client management, so if you think, no, somebody else does all that, we don't want to do that kind of thing, we actually can help you by looking at your brief and managing your casting call. So if you have got a project that you're working on and you think, this could possibly work, we've got a booth here just where you all had your lunch, so come over, have a chat with us, and we can show you how to place a casting call. And just to end on a nice positive note, this is an example of someone called Marios, who is a Star Now member, who's been on a MTV commercial and a Coke commercial, which was booked directly through Star Now. So there's huge brands that are using this, not only for speed, but to save money, and also to find authentic people. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Chris Lever. I'm an Australian and an accountant, and I've spent about 20 years in financial management of agencies, including CFO of 2 leading UK independent agencies. WCRS went through the management buyout with them, 2004, and a period of 2 years of transformation into the Engie Group after that. CFO of BLM, a media agency, and went through the preparation sale of that agency to Havas or Arena back in 2008. Prior to that, Group Financial Control of DMB&B, responsible for the shared services operation, including the systems and a team of 50 people in finance. And before that, an Omnicom DAS FD, troubleshooting FD, parachuted into a number of wayward agencies to sort them out, typically involving sorting out systems, people, and reporting. In 2009, I set up Agency DNA, and it's a business systems consultancy. We focus on the business system challenges of agencies. We deliver solutions for you. We orchestrate your data so it's much more efficient. It gives you better visibility of your business, so you can see what you're doing, forecast your future. We're delivering next generation solutions, and we've built business plans that have gone through about $400 million worth of deal value, and about the same amount are running through our systems at the moment in terms of reporting on an annual basis. Are you a connected agency? Now, in my entire experience, I don't think I can say any one agency has been entirely connected. And what I mean by that is your systems don't always talk to each other. And at some stage in there's Excel. In fact, probably quite a lot in some cases. There are systems, of course, and some great systems out there. And they are integrated across a number of key functions: job management, accounting, CRM to reporting, forecasting. But there's no system that straddles every key process of an agency's requirements. And what's connecting those systems, therefore, is Excel. And what's wrong with that? Excel means that your data is not necessarily real time. So your decisions are going to be based on past events. If you're not putting your forecast against actual data, how do you know it's going to be accurate? Typically, it's going to be out of date. Data in spreadsheets is at a risk of loss and error. And of course, rekeying costs more money. And if you don't get your data joined up in real time, you're going to miss out on opportunities. We've assessed about 40 different systems straddling those kind of key process areas. We give them a score. We score them based on what functionality do they cover and how well integrated are they. There is no system in our database that there's 100%. There's no system that does everything for you. You're always going to have more than one system, whether it's a CRM plus a job management and finance system. Your reporting might be in Excel, or it could be something a bit more sophisticated. Now, our offer to you guys is we'll give you, each of your agencies, a systems efficiency score. Take about 2 hours of your time, but it's our giveaway for this conference. We'd love to sort of work through that with you. See us after the event, or we've got some flyers around that will help you through that process. So identifying the solution is one thing, but we deliver identifying the problem is one thing, but we actually deliver the solution. And we've partnered with an amazing company from North Sweden called Bisview. They're based up in Skellefteå. And it's a platform solution. It allows us to integrate data from pretty much any of the systems that you guys are operating. In fact, of our 40 systems, I haven't found one yet that we can't integrate into our platform. So it basically means we can pull data from whatever, CRM, job management, time, data, accounting data, into one environment. The interface is Excel. And so it looks like you're now in Excel spreadsheet doing your updated forecasts and your reporting. It's incredibly powerful. And these are just some examples that I've kind of thrown up here. They look like spreadsheets, but they're not. You're on a database. This stuff is joined to the actual source, so it's incredibly powerful. We've got staff utilization reports that are scheduled to run 10:30 Monday mornings for 11 o'clock board meeting. We have a client fee modelling solution working with Michael Farmer, who's an author of Madison Avenue Manslaughter, has got a very interesting scope metric unit about the amount of creative resource needed for a certain set of deliverables. We built the application to run through here. That then runs through your top-level revenue forecast, profit loss balance sheet, cash flow, are all integrated. Staffing cost models running through to integrated P&L balance sheets. We can help you. Ditch the spreadsheets because they won't allow you to grow or scale. Do the system efficiency study with us. We'll tell you how much it's costing you to run your system stack. And get on the journey with Agency DNA, and we'll certainly help you secure data to grow your business. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Khalil Ibrahimi. I'm MD of a company called Admedo in the UK. And this is our claim to fame, a bold statement, democratizing programmatic. Today's about independent agencies. We've created an execution platform, a universal trading desk for agencies to plug and play, and literally within a couple of hours, somebody in your organization can go and execute a programmatic campaign. I'll just give you a second to read that. For those of us who have been living in austerity UK for the last 10 years, Felix Roth made this comment about the banking crisis. I'm going to pointedly say that we're almost at this point in digital advertising, and we're almost at this point in digital advertising because of network agencies. The IAB tell us that the UK ad market is worth, digital market is worth £10 billion. Of that £10 billion, at least 50% of the digital advertising marketplace is either fraudulent or misattributed. So we're already down to 5 billion. Of that 5 billion, Facebook and Google take 80% of the revenue. And in most Western developed marketplaces, a WPP or a network agency controls anywhere between 40 and 60% of the digital spend. So in reality, here in the UK, we work in a £1 billion marketplace. And if you look at the run rates of all the digital advertising businesses in the UK, they are not the run rates of a £10 billion marketplace. Matt Britton lives around the corner from me, and I do walk past his house, and I am a bit envious. But then I don't work for Google. We've all heard the stories over the last year or two. Mr. Pritchard did all of us a favour by announcing to the world, at best, digital stroke programmatic is broken. At worst, it's corrupt. All of us in this room have got stories. We are working with an organisation at the moment that's pitching for a global hotel chain. It's a $500 million campaign, or sorry, $500 million budget over 12 months. When they did an audit of their programmatic campaign, quick show of hands, anybody in the room like to guess for every dollar how much went out into the digital ecosystem? How much didn't turn up at the eyeball? Any guesses? 7% ended up at the eyeball. 93 cents in every single dollar. They almost had their own Lumascape. They had 62 companies providing their digital and programmatic spend. They had 25 DSPs, of which 20 DSPs were actually outbidding each other for the same audience. And here it is. The 40% on the right doesn't account for fraud. But like I said, digital has come to its moment of inflection. If we do not clean up our act, I think marketeers are going to go and probably accelerate the idea of taking things in-house. And this is what we've done now. As I said, we've built a modular, fully customizable, white label solution that you guys can plug and play within 24 hours. You can white label it so your client sees it as your brand. If you've got enough expertise in your own organization, you've got your own media buyers, they can do it themselves. If not, we run a managed service. And second generation, what do I mean by that? Well, it's very simple. Nearly all of the organizations that are active in programmatic and digital at the moment, and I have to watch what I say here because my pension is tied up in OpenX, which is a spin-out from a former business of mine. By second generation, I mean it's built for you guys. The reason we wanted to attend here is that our biggest take-up is in independent agencies. Not one single network agency wants to use Admedo in the UK because we run a completely transparent, open book, and our clients want to see it. So thank you very much.
Right, I love following up on basically somebody who thinks the way I do and has a similar type view on the marketplace. Makes things easier, and I can just steal some of your content. I think it's appropriate that we're actually here today at the Royal College of Physicians. There's been so many changes in medicine over the years. I think it's really relevant towards the digital and the media space. Things have changed so significantly in the last 5 to 10 years, it's mind-blowing. Again, I'm going to reference some things that we've heard here already today. There is a growing amount of pressure that we're all facing at this point in time. And whether it's the recent ANA report, which is pretty damning if we think about it, and it makes us sit back and take notice of what's happening within the industry and look deep into ourselves. But also, again, people like Mark Pritchard from P&G have blown the roof off things, which is another big name that's actually making some waves. And these people aren't just dipping their oar in the water anymore and just making light ripples. They're doing this because they're pissed off. And they're doing this because they want people who they can trust. I think these are very important issues and they need to be addressed. I think to Julian's points this morning, there definitely needs to be more dialogue that's going on. There needs to be bigger conversations between not just the advertisers and their agencies, but between the agencies and suppliers like us. It's so important, it's so crucial. I don't know any relationship right now, even my marriage, that could go on with the level of, I guess, distrust in one another. And the fact of the matter is, we're supposed to be here doing this for ourselves and doing it for our partners. But if you are just doing it for yourself and not for your partner, there's a fundamental breakdown in everything that we're doing. So I think as well, if we think about the way that we look at how dialogue works, it's such a simple thing to be natural, to be human, to not want to just look after yourself. And realistically, that's where, I guess, NewBase comes in. What we are was a programmatic display buying platform. So we buy agnostically across a number of DSPs. We work with agencies, mainly the independents, the big holding groups. Again, as we've heard, they tend to have their own trading desks. And trying to get in on that, it's like banging your head off a wall. So I think it's about the transparency and the margins. These are some of the biggest issues that we're raising right now in today's day and age. But I think it's also about the conversation, and we need to ensure that basically advertisers as well as the agencies are looking at future investment within programmatic with eyes wide open, not eyes half shut or glued together, or jazz hands, ping pong, deflections about where the money's going. And if we can start to do that and have a very open and realistic conversation, then I think that's really where we want to be going. I think for us, because we trade agnostically, we try and deliver the best results for our clients. And everybody says they try and deliver the best results. We do better than some. Most times we lose other times because another company's just had a better strategy, and that's life. That's how it goes. But one of the other things we're trying to promote with openness and transparency, we've built ourselves a View platform, which is basically a dashboard where we have API integrations with the DSPs that we work with, and we're able to then customize the dashboard for each individual marketeer. They're able to see what performance they want to see within their dashboard. This updates on a regular basis, as real time as you can possibly get. And with View, you're able to actually message with your trader who's working on your account. If there's a question there, it goes back to the millennials not wanting to pick up the phone, as we've heard earlier. They can do real-time messaging. So I think from us and our standpoint, we're here to be more part of the solution than part of the problem and stop turning a blind eye to this. The partners that we work with right now, we have great relationships. In some cases, we act as an independent or outsourced trade desk, and that's down to the relationships that we've established over the years. I think for me, I'm going to use this, and I wasn't going to only because the agency that you set up is DNA, but this is a totally different related DNA. I was talking to somebody in Soho over a beer about 5 or 6 years ago, and they're from an agency group, and we're laughing, and we were just talking about, so what are you going to call your trading desk? And he's like, DNA. I'm like, oh, great. Again, this has nothing to do with your company. DNA, that's great. And he's like, well, what does it stand for? He's like, dirty, nasty arbitrage. And at that point in time, yeah, exactly. So at that point in time, I really got a grip of what was going on in the industry. I've come from the agency groups. I've come from seller side. I've come from consulting within brands direct. So I think for us, it'd be great to have a conversation with you. Thank you very much for the time, and look forward to seeing you over the course of the conference.